Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'll be sharing a makeup look using my favorite brown girl friendly products. First, I like to use my Tatcha Silk Canvas Primer, and I just have it in a travel size because a little goes a long way, and it kind of covers up all my pores and gives that even base to start off your makeup. The next step is that I like to use the Lip Tinted Hue Stick in Rise and Origin. So as you can see, Rise is like an orange tone and it's the perfect shade for under my eyes and anywhere that I have pigmentation. So what color correcting is that it kind of covers and corrects those darker spots in your face so that when you apply your foundation, it gives more of a even base without that grayish tone. And I like to do this under my eyes, around my nose, my upper lip, that mustache area, and under my lips, so the chin and anywhere I have spots. And then I just take my ring finger and kind of blend it all in. And then I like to take the shade Origin, which is a red tone, and this way that's more for very darker pigment, so like my spots or scars from a pimple, and I just take it in my finger and again, dab, dab, dab. Next I'm going in with my favorite foundation by Too Faced, which is the Born This Way, and I'll be using the concealer and foundation in shade Sand, and I like to use my beauty blender because it's like the most bounciest sponge, and I take about a pump and a half, sometimes just a pump, and this foundation is gorgeous. It gives me like a satin finish, so it's not too matte. Again, it's not too oily though, so that way you have that, beautiful glow throughout the day. And blending your foundation is probably the most important part because that's going to set up like how your makeup is going to look like. And I like to make sure that it's super even and that I have blended literally everywhere. And as you can see, I'm kind of speeding out the process, and I apparently have pinkies up when blending, but I like to take my foundation throughout my neck as well a little so that you don't have that harsh difference. But mostly this shade is like my perfect match. But again, on camera it might look a little lighter, but trust me, in person and when the makeup is fully complete, it's like the perfect shade. Now I take the shade Sand again for the concealer, and it's a little lighter than the foundation. That way you have that slight brightening. And I like to take it just under my eyes and on the bridge of my nose for a slight contour. And if you want to highlight anywhere else, feel free to do so. But I just, again, take my beauty blender and make sure I blend out the concealer and kind of take it in an upward motion. That way your eyes seem more lifted than the other. And as I start to blend the bridge of my nose, I like to, kind of take that product a little up towards my forehead as well. And that way it's all more, seamlessly blended as well. Then I like to quickly go in with the Laura Mercier translucent setting powder and set my under eyes and the bridge of my nose mainly. I don't like to bake, but rather just take a little bit more product than usual so that I don't have that crease build up throughout the day. And I also like to take the powder onto like above my eyelids so that it kind of sets up for the eyeshadow. Then I like to take leftover powder and just, take off the excess and just dab it around the areas that I typically get oily or my smile lines would crease. So that's around my mouth, my forehead, and the cheek, just kind of set the whole face. So these are the brushes that I'll be using for the rest of my face. And first I'll be starting off with the Hoola Benefit Bronzer, and that's kind of the shade that I use. and I like to take a big fluffy brush and bronze my face right where the hollows of my cheeks are, so do that fishy face, but also wherever I want more color and warmth back into my skin. So that's typically around my forehead and also my jawline. And it's really important that you blend out the bronzer because you don't want that harsh line, and also do it in a upwards motion. And another tip is to make sure you always tap off the excess in all your products, because it's better to go lighter than add more if need be, but it's harder to take off the excess. So next I'll be going with the Anastasia Beverly Hills Blush Trio in Pool Party, and I like to take an angled brush because I feel like it hugs my cheek better. And again, smile and just, I like to bounce it on the apples of my cheek as well as kind of drag it up a little bit. And as you can see, blush is kind of like my favorite part, so I like to do it kind of all over my face. So I do my cheeks, and then I like to take a little bit for the nose as well as a little bit on my forehead as well. Next, I'll be using the Fenty Beauty highlighter in Mean Money and Hustle It Baby. And I like to use a fan brush or sometimes like a more dense brush, and just highlight on my cheekbones, or where the sun would directly hit, so you kind of have that reflection and beautiful glow. So we always like a good highlighter. I also like to take a little bit of highlight onto kind of like the bridge of my nose, but not entirely, just right between my eyeballs, I suppose, and also the button of your nose, like the tip of your nose. Next, I'll be using the translucent setting powder again to kind of carve out my bronzing and blushing, just so, suppose if the brush kind of hit elsewhere, you can kind of clean it up now. And I just like to leave that powder on there for a little bit longer. Next, I'll be doing my eyebrows using the Benefit Precisely My Brow in shade 6. And I start off by brushing out my eyebrows. Then I like to do an outline on right below my eyebrows and then right above as well. And kind of just do little strokes wherever I feel like my hairs are missing or I just have those extra gaps. I don't personally like to do too much to my brows, just a little filling in helps. And the most important part is that you brush it out again so you don't have those harsh lines, but rather that, like, oh, did I do my eyebrows today? Kind of look. Then I like to prep my eyes for eyeshadow by taking a little bit more concealer and doing it right above my eyelids, so it's kind of like a eyeshadow primer. Today I'll be using the Urban Decay Naked Cherry palette. It's one of my favorite palettes, and the shades are gorgeous and it really works beautifully for our brown skin tone. So first I'll be going in with the shade Feels. I like to do that as like a transition shade right above my crease, and that's typically if you kind of, take your finger in and there'll be like a hole in your face, on your eyes, I suppose. And that's where I like to take a good old fluffy brush and just go back and forth with Feels. And I also like to take Feels like kind of all over my eyes as well, because it cancels out that kind of concealer shade as well. And I'm not a professional with eyeshadow. This is just something I put together and it kind of looks good and makes it look like, oh, I totally did my eyeshadow today. Then I'll be taking the shade Ambitious and pop that all over my eyelid as well. It's a beautiful, shimmery shade that's kind of subtle, and you won't be able to mess up with it. And make sure to always blend your eyeshadow back whenever you add the colors. Next I'll be taking Bing and Devilish to kind of do like a V shape around the corner of my eyes, so you kind of deepen and darken the exterior of your eyes as well. And again, I take the big old fluffy brush I used and blend everything back again so that even if you made any mistakes, it's kind of just blended away. And then finally, I take Bing again and do it under my eyes so that you kind of finish your eye look. So make sure you always bring your shadow back under, right below your waterline as well. And then I felt a little extra today, so I used the shade Turn On, which is, like a brighter shade, so it kind of opens up your eye. And to finish the eye look, again, going in with the fluffy brush to blend everything out again. Next, I'm going with the Urban Decay 24/7 eyeliner in a brown shade. And I like to just take it on my waterline again. And I had my fan on, so now I'm crying, but it's okay. It happens. Then I take my eyelash curler. It's super old. It's like an e.l.f. one. And I like to curl my lashes because that helps to kind of open up your eyes again and preps it for mascara. Then I like to take the Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara and do my eyelashes. And I kind of do that wiggling motion, so you kind of coat all your lashes from the root to the tip. And it's also important that you do the bottom lashes as well. Again, you want the full eye look. You don't want to just do, like 50% of it. And this really opens up your eyes and kind of completes your eye look. So now we're done with our eyes. Moving on to the lips. So I like to prep my lips with my favorite lip balm from Glossier. It's the mango one, balm.com. That's literally what the lip balm is called. And I like to take my favorite lip color from Urban Decay. It's called Rapture. I like to just kind of start off my lips by just dabbing the color on just to make sure I'm not going too overboard, especially since the eyes and the lips kind of match. So now I'm going in with Velvet Teddy from MAC just to brighten up the lip a little bit on kind of like the inner portion of your lips. And then I'll be finishing up with the Fenty Beauty Floss Balm. It smells really good to me. I think it's a little bit strong, but it kind of has that strawberry kind of flavor to it, or I guess smell. I totally don't taste my lip gloss, I promise, but it gives that extra shine to your lips. And then now I'm just taking off that excess powder that we added on, and anywhere that I might have gotten a little oily. And I like to finish it off by taking my beauty blender again and just dabbing all over my face so that everything is blended out and nothing is creasing from all that weird facial expressions I've been doing throughout this video. So now to set everything in, I'll be using the Morphe setting spray. It has that continuous mist as well. And just spray it all over your face and kind of fan it out so that it all dries up. And that wraps up the video. I hope you guys liked this little makeup tutorial using my favorite brown girl friendly products. Thank you guys so much for watching, and please make sure to subscribe to my channel.